1, 2. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopijana Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Ramuna Tira Vanachari, Ramuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Kali Yuga Pavana Harinama Sankirtan ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guruh Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. What is the chapter number? Chapter number 2. Correct. 865. It's a very good question today we are going to discuss. Huh? Why should we endeavor to overcome Maya? Correct me? This is page number 84. Correct. The trees, this one. You can read from that, yeah. It's like a background and then we proceed ahead from there, yeah. Yes.
The trees, some trees are going upwards and some trees are going downwards. These are the conditions. So liberation means that one shall not be under any condition. Krishna and his pure devotees are not under any condition. Just like Krishna, he is not under any condition, that is liberation. We can also, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we can also become
Without any condition.
without any condition. Just like Narada Muni. Narada Muni is traveling in the space because he is liberated soul. He is not conditioned.
Yeah, actually, all of us in this world, we don't like to be restricted. Just like if your bird is put in a cage, mm, and you lock the cage, occasionally you attend to the bird. The bird is not comfortable, but the bird is allowed to fly in the free sky. He can move around. The bird is more free and happy. Prabhupada says when he went to America, he says that he quotes the example of the hippies. The hippies also wanted a free life. They didn't like the life which is restricting. They thought parents are putting restriction, teachers are putting restriction in schools and colleges. They wanted freedom. So they cut off from the parents. That's why in America, like one boy, recently when I went to America, I met him. So he wanted to join the ashram full time. I asked him, but what about your parents? How will you tackle them? Parents. When I became 13, parents told me, get out. They said, go and stand on your own leg. We have brought you up to this. Now you take care of your life. So in America, at the age of 12 or 13, the kids are out of the home. They are out. And they like to be free. But if they are at home, they will always keep fighting with father or fighting with parents. Because people want freedom. They want freedom. So now, not only from the parents, they didn't want to go to school or college also. They wanted a carefree life. Because if you ask any man, he will tell you, Prabhuji, now I got a job, 9 to 9 I have to work. But this is not for all time. By the time I become 45, 50, I would like to have good savings, put it in the bank. Then I would like to have a farm or something. I can visit the farm, have some goshala, and then, reduce my work. I will become a freelancer, and I will become like, they have their own profession. Nowadays people have, a consultant kind of thing. Just 2-3 hours a day, 2-3 days a week. Then you'd ask the people, but what will you do in the rest of the time? Oh, I want to be free. You can go to farm, you can spend time with family, you can go to temple, you'll be on your own, you can relax. You have seen people saying that? People like this or till the age of 70, 80, they have to work from 9 to 9 that they like. Which one? Correct, no? Is there any of you here you would like to work 9 to 9 till the age of 80? So we actually like to minimize hard work and maximize enjoyment. Be more happy. You agree, all of you? Correct, no? That's what everyone is looking for. Okay, now let us think about what is that enjoyment that living beings are thinking of. One of the enjoyments for the living beings is to be with their one's own mother, father. Like 2 boys in Pune, they studied in one university, Pumba they call it, PUMBA, Pune University MBA. Yeah. So and they were toppers also. They got gold medal and all. So recently, in my book distribution, I traveled to some villages. So these fellows had a big car in the village and they took me to their village. Both brothers, both are meritorious fellows. I asked, where are you? He said, oh, you are in the village only. I said, village? Why you didn't take job in Pune? Job? Dozen companies gave us jobs. They said, we threw away all the jobs. We thought, if you are sitting in village, then they showed me a Goshala. They have a Kapila guy also. They said, we have 40 cows we are taking care of. And they showed the organic field. He said, we are making 5 times money what we'll make in city. They said, this is going to Germany, France, all over the world. And they are having this organic, nowadays they make this organic. They said, what will we do in Pune city? Here our parents are here, grandparents are here, our wife, children, family, cows are here, fresh air we are breathing, pure water we are drinking. We are very happy in the village. So they are living with a joint family of 40, 50 people. So they're very happy. So although they're educated boys, they're gold medalists, they're meritorious, but they're very happy living in village, surrounded by everybody. So one of the enjoyments comes from being nearer to the near and dear ones, correct, no? Another enjoyment comes from not having to be caught like this bile, kolluka bile they say, no? They put this thing in the neck of the bull and you have to go round and round and to extract the oil. You've seen that? So our company hard work, if you see in the modern times, it's like that Golluga Bail only. 9 to 9. Keep going round and round and round. You have to extract the oil. Because you are under restriction. You have to punch the card. You have to submit the work. Even if you are working from home, that much amount of work you have to show. Otherwise, nobody will let you work from home. Correct? No? You can ask devotees who are working from home. Huh? You have to show the work. So actually, they say you work from home, but it's equal amount of work what you do in the office. Can a man be relaxing at home? Then he will lose the job. Correct? No? So, what we are talking is not only the being at home, but you can't be at home and do what you want. You are extracted the same work what you would do in the company nowadays, if you see like that. So, we want reduced hard work, we want to be with relatives and friends, and we want to have freedom. We don't want restriction. And we want to eat nice foods, we want to hear pleasant music. So first is we want to reduce suffering. Then after having reduced suffering and come to your balance, then you want to enjoy positive enjoyments. Agreed? What is the first thing? For example, say you have some viral fever. What is the first thing you'll want to do? Get rid of it. Take some antibiotics, something, in 3 days get rid. And those 3 days you have to eat soups only. Drink soups and other things. So after the fever is gone, what is the next thing you'll ask the doctor? Now the 3 days are over, 4 days are over. Doctor is saying continue the soups, he's saying. What is the next thing you'll ask the doctor? Yeah. You will ask me that when can I take regular meal? Correct? Because first goal is to mitigate suffering. After mitigating suffering, the next goal is to enjoy. How many of you agree? You understand my point right now? Yeah. That is the goal of every living entity, you will see that. First is, if suffering is there, I want to get rid of suffering. No tension, no suffering, let me be peaceful. So first we want, that means negative axis to 0, 0. After you go to 0, 0, 0, 0 to positive axis. Everybody in this world is trying for that. It's an open reality. There is nothing to hide about it. That means 3, 4 derivations you can do based on this. The first derivation, the living entity is pleasure seeking. He is happiness seeking. He is not suffering seeking. Nobody will want suffering. Even if you go to a doctor and take injection, somebody may say, you are going and taking injection, that means you like suffering. No. We are taking injection so that our disease will be gone and we can be happy. So this is a short-term suffering you are accepting for a long-term happiness. Do you agree? That means even the job also, say for example, say one company is paying you 6 lakh per annum. Another company is inviting you to 14 lakh per annum they are giving you. Only thing they tell you that the 6 lakh per annum company is giving you 10 hours of job. But our company will give you 16 hours of job. You have to do. Then we'll give you 14 lakh per annum. So how many of you will go? Many of you will go, correct? Now 14 lakh per annum is good or not? People go or not? People go. So you may say that, hey, 14 lakh per annum is good, but then you have to work 16 hours a day. He will say, never mind. Just I'll get used to it. No problem. He's giving more than double. I am now getting 6 lakhs. Now I'll be getting 14 lakhs. That means you are ready to accept suffering for what? No, money means ultimately money is equal to what? Enjoyment. That means you are ready to accept some suffering for the sake of? Yeah. So that is therefore you will see even when you are going on the road in your car or vehicle, you find sometimes road is clumsy, very clumsy looking, and they have broken down the roads and they have put a board also, temporary inconvenience for permanent convenience and things like that, They say, please go in the side, narrow road, everybody is, fed up. But then they know very well, very soon some metro is coming or, broader road is coming, correct, no? Everyone, where in the world people are accepting suffering for long-term happiness. You will observe this. None of you can say that, probably only spiritual life is full of suffering, we are enjoying. Can you say that? In material life, there is far more suffering and the enjoyment is also, at the end, it will Diwala bank also. There is nothing permanent. Whereas in spiritual life, you take suffering for long-term enjoyment. It's meaningful. Correct now? So, therefore I told you the first lesson, the soul is what seeking? Pleasure seeking. He wants pleasure. It's not wrong. for you to want pleasure. Because by nature, the God is full of pleasure, happiness. And the soul is also full of happiness. And the soul's happiness is multiplied in connection with God. And that interaction between Lord and the soul, that expands the happiness. See, the nature of the soul's happiness is, you don't want limited happiness. You want expanding happiness. Correct, no? You want, like if they give you limited gulab jamun, everybody two, then you may tend to go and ask, can I have one more? Right now? That means you want to expand happiness. Or will you say that, I don't want two, only one I want? Of course, somebody has diabetes, they may say that. Yeah. But that is also to make sure that by eating sweet, the diabetes doesn't get aggravated. And that is to minimize the suffering coming from diabetes. Therefore, they may accept only one. Correct, no? That means ultimately, restricting yourself is for increasing happiness. That means you actually don't want restriction. You want happiness only. But sometimes you will restrict because that it becomes necessary in the material world to get happiness. You have to restrict. So, in the spiritual world, there is no restriction. Only in the material world, there is restriction. It's called stringent laws of material nature, Prabhupada says. Stringent laws. So, in order for you to understand it, what is the stringent law? I will tell you the difference between the two. Like, for example, the situation at home and situation in the school for a child is totally different. You will see that. In the school, the child has to wear uniform, correct, no? Some white and blue. Then teacher will check whether they are wearing socks and shoe. Like, one day I went without socks. I wore only shoe. All my friends were ridiculing me. Hey, he has come only with shoe. So, but my socks was wet. So some boys went and complained to Madam, Radheshyam has come without socks. Madam caught me and said, hey, where are the socks? I said, Madam, rainy days, you don't see, no, it got wet. But she said, look shabby wearing only shoes without socks. So there is restriction, correct, no? In the school, you have to wear a uniform, you have to come on time, you have to catch the bus. Some days I used to think after the lunch, I want to run away to home, but you cannot run away. you have to stay till the last bell rings. So school is a place of restriction. Whereas home, there is abundant freedom. You will see that you can demand a mother, you cook this and give me, she will cook and give. You can throw away the clothes, she will wash it for you. She will call you for lunch at 1 o'clock. You may still be playing at 2 o'clock. And still there is lenience. Not that because you are playing till 2 o'clock, she is going to bring a stick and beat you to death or something. No. She will not do that. At home there is lenience, we know that. So that is the reason why children like home better than the school. You will see that. So spiritual world and material world are like that. In spiritual world there is a lot of lenience, lot of freedom, because everything is based on love. When love becomes a central, pivotal factor, then in that love there is also a lot of lenience and understanding, and there is trust, tremendous. The more the trust increases, then the lenience, freedom, empowerment, everything becomes very easy. Like I have seen in business also, there was one devotee in our temple working, Jivananda Prabhu. He was working in a company and the company ran on losses at one time. So the boss closed the company for about 3 months. But he told this Jivananda Prabhu working in the company and said, see, for you, I am going to give you full salary. Don't worry. In those days, he was getting some 50,000 many years ago. He said, you will get 50K, but although company is closed for 3 months, I'll call you back. Again, we can continue the company later. So now the 3 months passed, 6 months passed, 1 year passed. Still the company was giving him salary. Can you imagine? 50K they were giving. And one day Jivan called the company and said, sir, what makes you give me the salary? I am feeling uneasy to take this money. I'm not doing any work. You are giving me this money. I'm not comfortable taking this money. And the boss said, no. You have earned our trust. You are like my brother. I can hand over the whole company to you and go, and I'm confident that you will not cheat me. I have that trust. Otherwise, why am I paying you? Company is now recuperating now. We will come back to this thing. and again he will continue the work. But in the 1 year period, this Prabhu became serious in devotional service. He came to temple. He started working in patron care department in Pune. And then 1 year, he and his wife decided that children are grown up now, and he doesn't have to do the job. He can work for the temple. Then one day he went and met the boss and said, "Sir, now I've developed a very great seriousness in spiritual life. I want to work as a full-time devotee with ISKCON." Then amazingly the boss said, "See, you want to go to God now, I cannot stop you. If you are going to another company, I would not have left you. Now that God has attracted you, ultimately He is the Supreme. All of us, you and me, we are all children of God. So if that is what is your decision, I cannot stop you." Then after that, he told the boss, "I will not take the salary now. Now I will work for the ISKCON." But he told the boss, "Whatever you gave me last 1 year, for that 1 year I'll work with you. And you don't pay me a single penny now. I'll give back the work that is equivalent to 1 year of salary." But boss said, "No, I will waive it off. No problem. You can carry on." He said, but I am telling you, how this fellow got so much freedom? He has earned that trust. Where there is love and trust, there is also a lot of freedom. There is affection, there is freedom, there is lenience, there is trust. Nobody will misunderstand you. That is spiritual world is like that. The material world is like a dog eat dog, Prabhupada says, situation. The boss is thinking, I will swallow my subordinate by loading him with a heavy amount of work. I will give him 1 lakh and I will get the work of 10 lakh. And subordinate is thinking, I will, take 1 lakh and do the work of 10,000 rupees. Both are thinking of exploiting each other. That's material world. Therefore, material world is a very nasty place. Material world is a place of suffering, terrible suffering. But the soul by nature is pleasure seeking, but I am telling you the finer aspects of pleasure. Where is this pleasure coming from? If you see, the contact with the Lord is so beautiful that there is lenience, there is shelter, there is care, there is protection, there is trust, there is warmth, there is a eternity. There are no stringent laws. And love is the ruling force in the spiritual world. So therefore, spiritual world is such a place where the living beings live not only with great bliss, but it's an ever-expanding bliss. Ever-expanding bliss at every moment. That's why we say, Anandambudhi Vardhanam Prati Padam Purna Amrita Swadam. But the moment you leave spiritual world and come to material world, the stringent law starts. For example, human beings cannot go to forest because there is a fear that there will be tiger. I heard even in the villages, this cheetah, cheetah comes and hides in the sugarcane fields. It will be hiding. So generally it comes out after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock it comes out. And the cheetah is hungry. It's looking for some eatable and it runs very fast. Correct, no? So if somebody is little neglectful with babies, it will catch the baby by the neck and carry it away. In the villages. It's very dangerous. So one day we reached a village in our sumo, a little late at night, 7:30 or something. So that fellow said, "Did you see cheetah on the way somewhere?" We were shocked, really. Nobody told us cheetah is coming. Of course, he said cheetah is also afraid of humans also. But if a human being is bobbing and drinking water, that is the time it will catch the neck. It will pounce on the neck. It will be hiding in the field there. So you will find that means some of these villages are close to forest, correct? A forest area like that. Because you are encroaching on their domain. So therefore you are in danger. But if animals come to Pune city or Hyderabad city, what will happen? People will shoot him. So that means there is stringent laws, correct, no? You have to live in the forest and human being has to live in the city. One should not go to each other's place. So there is stringent law like this. You will see like that. Yeah. Similarly, lawbreakers are put in the jail, law abiders are put in the city. You will see like that. And similarly, you will find in material world, you want enjoyment, but you have to pay a heavy price for the enjoyment. One time in Pune, one congregation, Mata told Paramahansa Radhanath Maharaj, these brahmacharis, early morning they get up and they are dancing very happily in Mangalarati, Nashingarati, everything, and they are chanting the japa 2 hours peacefully. And then they are having a nice Bhagavatam class. All spiritual programs, these guys are doing without any restriction. After that, they take a plate and come and garam garam prasad falls on the plate. They can take. Maharaj, this kind of life only these guys can enjoy. But we grihasthas, we know what life is. So much of hassle morning when you get up, the child quack quack, one child starts crying. You have to attend to the child. And then the man has to go to company. He has to bring the grocery in the morning, and daytime he has to go to company, and Mataji has to clean the chores of the house and this and that. She was telling. So Maharaj was smiling and said, Maharaj said, you see, that is all right. You are saying that they are carefree because they've given up sex life, he said. So if you give up sex life, there's a lot of freedom. But that's not very easy also, to give up sex life also. And that is why sometimes the brahmachari becomes a dongi. Then he becomes a laughing stock in the newspaper and everything. But if a brahmachari can avoid becoming a cheater, and he can control the sex life, then he has a lot of freedom. Therefore, Prabhupada says sex life is the shackles that binds the jiva in this world. It's like a rope that is used to bind your hands and legs. Even the most powerful man is bound by the hands and legs by sex life. You will see that man secretly in one's own mind, everybody knows they are slave to some woman. You will find that they become slave of some woman. They are attracted by the smile of some woman or charm of some woman. They are attracted to the beauty of some woman. That is a slavery the jiva experiences in the material world. In the spiritual world, you will see the attraction for woman, the supreme woman is Radharani. The attraction for her is a motherly attraction. Mata samasta jagatam madukaita bhare. Mataha means she's mother. Similarly, vatsalyadi gunojvalam bhagavatim vande jagan mataram is saying that she's a Jagan Mata. Means what? Mother of the whole, supreme mother of the whole universe. And he's saying that this jiva's attraction for her is like the child's attraction for the mother. That's the kind of attraction. That is completely opposite to sex life. In sex life, there is a tendency for crushing and enjoying the other person for one's own enjoyment. Whereas in the mother and child enjoyment, the child becomes completely malleable and pliable like a play toy in the hands of the mother. Then you become an instrument in her hands in engaging in Krishna service. You will see like that. So that charm of Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world, Lakshmi or Mother Sita, like Hanuman is attracted to Sita. But what is his attraction? Actually, you all know Hanuman was a brahmachari. Hanuman is a brahmachari. So once in the forest when Ram was crying to Lakshman, Hanuman was watching and in his mind thought came, अरे इतना attachment नहीं चाहिए, क्या रोने का? Why a man should cry like this? And he thought, I am brahmachari, I have no attraction. Why this personality is weeping so much for Sita? He was thinking like that in his mind. The thought arose in his mind. But later, after going to Lanka and doing lot of search, when he came to one of the buildings from the Ashok Vatika, he saw it was midnight. So in the Ashok Vatika, below, there was a big 1,000 pillar mandap, and then there was a tree under which Sita was sitting, draped in yellow sari, covering her head. Her face was like a full moon, her eyes were like lotus petals. And when Hanuman saw in the moonlit night, her beauty resembled Lord Rama's beauty also, because Shakti Shaktiman have similarity also. So at that time, after seeing her, he said to himself, oh, this is the personality for whom Rama is weeping. This is the personality for whom Rama will even lay down his life. This is the same person whose separation has shattered Ram. Now I can understand. At that time I thought, why is Rama weeping so much? After seeing her, I can understand. For Rama to be separated from Sita, he should be really hard-hearted, like a stone-hearted man. Only then he can remain. She is a personified devotion, personified seva bhav. The service attitude personified is Mother Sita. He said. So, when that charm arises in the heart of the jivas for the Supreme Mother, then they can give up sex life in this world. Very easily they can kick off sex life. Because there is a great bliss that awaits the jivas who surrender to Hare and Krishna, Radharani and Krishna. Like that. So, like for example, The small children, if you see, in ISKCON also, they sit with father for some time, then they go and sit with mother for some time. You've seen that? Then again they'll come to father. They'll keep going back and forth like that. Does anybody mind it? Nobody minds it. Why? Because people know it's a small child. So when one, because he has no, affinity for opposite sex. Correct now? In that age. But once a boy grows up, you become 15-year-old boy, 20-year-old boy. Can you go and sit in mother's lap and father's lap? Back and forth. You can't sit like that. Huh? It will look awkward. People say, "Kya ho gaya? This nut has become loose." Huh? They will say, correct now? Yeah. Because they know that you have become adult now and you have the affinity for opposite sex. So you have a vikar has come. Huh? Vikar means you have a tendency to exploit the opposite sex. Therefore, people will not like you coming to the women's side. Correct now? So, but if somebody living in this world can give up that vikar, he can actually see the man and woman as jivas only. He doesn't see difference between the two. He sees everybody as Krishna's devotees and everybody to be object and to be engaged in Krishna's service with no mood of exploiting mood. To put it more precisely, bura nazar se nahi dekhna. They write, no, bura nazar wala tere muh kala. You've seen that? They put in laris, no? So if you can, give up that bura nazar, see even women as worshipable. You should see women like goddesses. If you see like that, then you have no restriction in this world. So the topmost restriction put on the jiva due to his evil mentality of throwing the bura nazar, and the result of that you will find is sex life. The attraction for sex life, which actually sucks blood in this world. Everyone is working hard. Prabhupada says the impetus for big industries, big jobs, people flying in big planes, ultimately sex life, he says. Even in sports you will see, people will play, do lot of tamasha, running this and then when they win, they'll come and embrace their BF or GF. You will see that. You will see that. As soon as the boyfriend or girlfriend will be waiting outside. How many of you have seen that? You've seen that? Correct? Yeah. That is the impetus. From here, impetus is going. It's like the drone camera. No, the drone camera is controlling from here. And the camera is going up, doing lot of tamasha there because this is controlling. How many of you have seen drone camera? I know that? A person controlling. So who is holding the drone camera? She is holding and she is in control of that fellow. You will see that. So, in Krishna consciousness, even if you become a grihastha, you understand that, this is the... So, if a man becomes very sense-controlled by staying in a center like this, you become sense-control, mind-control, your intelligence becomes awakened, you become very sober, then tomorrow when you marry, your wife will have a great respect for you. She will see that this fellow is not like a play toy in my hands. He is not a slave of sex. He is actually a devotee of God. I am very, fortunate to get a husband like this because he will take me back to Godhead. Instead of falling at my feet, he will make me also fall at Radha Krishna's feet. She will understand that. Then she will have a good... And actually, Mother Sita is telling Ravana, "Arey fool, why should I marry you? I got a very good capable shoulder of Rama for me to lean on. I got such a shelter, which is like a Meru Parvat. Why would I take shelter of a jackal like you?" Like that she is telling. So you will see that because Sita had admiration for Ram, a wife who admires her husband as a great soul, as like a guru. Kardamuni was like that kind of guru, Kardamuni. And his wife was Devahuti. Devahuti, even before marrying Kardamuni, she had deep admiration for him. She said he is such a effulgent sage, a self-controlled sage, a learned sage, who has seen God eye to eye, fully self-controlled. And when she wanted to marry him, she told her parents. Parents took her to forest. And then when Swayambhu proposed to him that I heard that you have a desire to marry, can you marry my daughter? And Kardamuni spelled out his condition. He said, I can marry your daughter. I also heard about her chastity and purity and everything. I heard that once Gandharva was flying in the sky, in a plane, and then your daughter was playing on the rooftop. They used to play with 3 balls like this. Along with her friend, she was running in the rooftop of the palace and playing. And that Gandharva, seeing from the top, was fascinated by her beauty, which means he must have been flying at a lower height, I think. Otherwise, how he could see her beauty? Correct, no? Otherwise, if he was inside the clouds, he would not have seen. He must have been flying at a lower. And he peeped out of the window so much that he fell down upside down. Down, it is said. So, but although he was ready to fall upside down to become attracted to her, she said no to him. He wanted to marry Devotee, but Devotee said, I don't want a playboy like this, who may be attracted to women, chasing after women. She said, get lost. She was not interested. But she wanted to marry an exalted soul, like Kardamani. So Kardamani said, because she is such a chaste woman, she is not after good-looking, handsome boys, or she is not after moneyed boys. She has chosen to marry a ascetic living in the forest. And he is a Brahman also. She is a Chatrani. It's a very good match because Chatrani is lower caste and Brahmana is higher. So husband should be of a higher caste and wife can be of a lower caste. Then it's a very good match it is. If wife is like, Brahmani and husband is Kshatriya, like Ayati's marriage, very bad match. Wife will control the husband. She's a Brahmani will control the Kshatriya. That's not very good marriage. So she was Kshatrani and he was Brahman. She wanted to marry. So he told Swayambhuman, I'll marry her. But the condition is, as soon as I give her a son, I will take sannyas and leave home. Father was shocked. My lord, what kind of man is this? Generally, a man should live at home till 50, 60. Imagine if he gives a child in 2 years now, and he will take sannyas and go away. Because Kardamani's plan was, my father is Brahma, I want to give him a son. He has given me an order, so I have to do that. But I don't want to get entangled in this world. So while entering married life, he made an exit plan. That kind of thing. Still, when Swayambhuman told his wife Shatarupa told Devotee said, no problem, go ahead. Then she told the mother and mother told the father. And then father said, okay, we are going ahead with the marriage. You can see that. So because he was very exalted, Devotee served him very faithfully in devotional service. And they could beget one very famous son. Who was the son? And who is Kapila? God himself. From such a powerful husband and wife, such powerful children are born. Correct, no? You see, my father, when he came to know I want to be a brahmachari when I was a schoolboy, when I was in 5th standard, I told my teacher that I want to be brahmachari or sannyasi. So teacher complained to father. So when I came home, I thought father will be upset with me. So when I met the father, I told father, Papa, what do you think about this idea? If I am a celibate, I can study Gita and I can preach the Vedic message to people. He said, brilliant idea. I said, really, you like it? He said, I also want to be like that only, he said. He wanted to be a brahmachari, but in his family there were 3. The 2 elder brothers went far, far away. So our whole family came on him, responsibility. He said, then I married a simple girl, but I always had aspiration. Okay, I couldn't do it, so you do it. Very nice. He said like that. Because he had that desire, and the desire manifested through the son. Son could do like that. So, you will see that if parents are very saintly, then the children have a very good scope of getting sanskara from such parents. So Kardamani and Devotee were very, very, very saintly. So Kapila was born in their family, you can see. And Kapila did so much good, by giving the Kapila Shiksha he gave like that. So therefore, boys sometimes foolishly think that this ISKCON brahmacharis want to shave us up. Are brahmachari bana denge. No, nobody can be made a brahmachari. If you are a brahmachari, if you want to be brahmachari, you will be a brahmachari. Nobody can stop you. But if you want to be grahastha also, one should be one should not be a slave of sex life. If you are having slavery for sex life, then you become very controlled. You ask any grahastha, they will agree. Any grahastha man you ask, if he can actually become serious in spiritual life, wife will respect him. But if he is a slave of sex life, wife will kick him like a dog. She will say that he is after my body only. Actually, wife knows my body is not very great, but this fellow is after my body because he is under illusion. The Maya has put a spell on him. Because, spell, like this Shabaras in Jagannath Puri, they keep a dozen pigs and they put a circle with an arrow and they chant a mantra. And then they go away. They go on their work. But these pigs cannot come out of the circle. Because what they have done? Spell they have put. And they don't have to put any pole or a room or anything. They don't have to make. They just cannot come out. Similarly, Maya has made a Rajaguna, Tamaguna circle she has made. Has put the jivas. Huh? She has put mantra and kept, and they are stuck inside. They are not able to come out. You will see that. But we can easily come out of this spell of Maya by chanting Hare Krishna and by seriously taking to spiritual life. Huh? So, in the material world, the stringent laws have come upon us because of our sexual attraction. That's the topmost. And then there are other attractions are all subordinate to that one attraction. You may say, Prabhuji, I have a desire to eat. Is that not a desire? Yeah, okay. And eating other things are later. Huh? But the main thing, main attraction is sex life. Therefore, Prabhupada says 4 regulative principles means first what he will say? No illicit sex. Then second what he will say? No. No meat eating. So tongue and genitals are the biggest enemy for the jiva in the material world. We should not even say tongue and genitals. Genitals and tongue. They too are the biggest enemy. Prabhupada uses this in this purport. She says that sex life is the first binding factor. The next is the eating. Because eating and sex life are connected also. If you eat too opulent foods, then your sense organs will clamor for sex life. Prabhupada says that. They both are connected, like tongue, belly and genitals in one line. So if somebody can restrain these two and use that sexual energy for awakening love for Krishna. Direct it upward, urdhvaretas. Don't direct it downwards. Then you will become very powerful. You see, one of the devotees was telling when he had gone to this Badrinath, Kedarnath. In Kedarnath mountains, when they went into the mountains and forests, little in the interior, they found some of these fellows live in snow mountains, correct now? There they are living and doing meditation. They found one IIT boy sitting there. Can you imagine? One IIT boy is also yogi there. He is sitting in silence, meditating. That means even very, very learned people also, they are trying to find out God, find out truth. So when they met that fellow, he was talking fluent English. So they asked him, why have you come here? He said, oh, I want to keep away from the material world because it is all Maya and it is binding me. I want to learn to control my senses, control my mind. So here I find it most wonderful. But I don't even talk much because you ask question, I am talking. Now I am going now, he said. So you can find in the ancient times, even the kings would throw away the kingdom and then they would go to forest, just like Bharat Maharaj. You see, Bharat Maharaj or Ambarish Maharaj wanted to take Vanaprastha, go to forest. Prithu Maharaj is giving up his kingdom and going to forest with his wife Archie. You'll find that. Because spiritual goal is so sublime, so topmost, and that one has to actually, as much as you have to work hard to accumulate things in this world, if not that much, almost equally you have to work hard to give them up also. Because which is easy? Accumulating is easy or giving up is easy? None of them is easy. Both are difficult. Both are equally difficult. Equally difficult. Working hard and accumulating. After that, to give up, the mind is not ready. Correct, no? Very difficult to give up. People become attached to things. But amongst all the attachments, the topmost attachment is sex life. Then after that, attachment to eating, attachment to accumulating money in the bank, accumulating material facilities for sense gratification. They all come after that. Therefore, he says, ato griha kshetra sutta apta vittair janasya mohoyam aham mameti. He's saying, I, me, mine. The jiva gets caught up in that and he gets trapped in this material world. So, when Prabhupada made this ISKCON society, even husband wives were very blissful as much as brahmacharis or sannyasis. The reason is they also strictly followed the spiritual path and they derived bliss from spiritual life. Actually, there are two types of happiness you can get. One is through spiritual practices, you get spiritual bliss. And through material sense gratification, you get another type of happiness. Anybody can tell me what is the difference between the two? Okay, he's saying one is permanent, one is not permanent, he's saying. Okay, other devotees? What is the difference between the two? Yes, Prabhu. Give the mic, yeah.
Spiritual bliss satisfies us, while material bliss, it leaves us hankering for more.
Material happiness leaves us hankering for even more and more. No matter how much you get, it's like a tokri where you keep putting water, all water goes down. Keep on putting, keeps going down like that. Material happiness is like that. But spiritual happiness not only gives satisfaction, but in spiritual happiness, it's ever expanding eventually. Okay? Anything else?
Material happiness is limited.
Yes.
Spiritual happiness is unlimited.
Exactly. Like a cow tied to a pole. Cow can only enjoy within that radius. Material happiness is limited, whereas spiritual bliss is ever expanding. So you all understand this. But another interesting thing I will tell you. See, when a cold winter season in the morning, when you get up at 3:30, alarm clock is ringing, you see. At the time, mind says that, morning program is only at 4:30. Correct, no? Now I got up at 3:30. So what mind says? Can sleep little more. And anyway, you look through the window, it is raining also a little bit. And it is chill, cold winter. You again cover with a blanket and sleep. So you get happiness or not? Honestly tell me, don't tell lies. Correct now? Yeah, you feel very happy, right? That happiness is called tamaguni happiness. What happiness? Tamaguni happiness. But then when you again close yourself with a blanket and sleep, suddenly you find 3-4 devotees come to your room and say, Prabhuji, get up, 4:25 now. They say like that, correct, no? Then you jump up from the bed, go to the bathroom, you take a crow bath. You just put the shower. Shower is also going, brushing is also going on. Simultaneously both. One boy I saw, in the shower he is brushing and like that only. I said, Prabhuji, late ho gaya, what to do, So then you come running and dhoti is not worn properly, he's just putting dhoti like a blanket. Why? Because he has to put the attendance. Attendance is putting and then tilak like this he is putting and then very, very fast. So you will find that tamaguna is enjoyment in the beginning but becomes panicky at the end. You can see like that. On the other hand, imagine you say no to the mind at 3:30. You push the blanket aside, put on a bright light, and then get up and then change your dress and then go to the bathroom and take a bath. And then you find that 3:45, 3:50 you are ready. Quickly you got ready. 20 minutes you are ready. Then you go to the temple hall. Another half an hour you chant. Before Mangalati, some chanting is very powerful, right? And after the chanting, after completing those 4 rounds and the morning program starts, how do you feel? You feel happy or not? What is that happiness? That is Brahma Sokhyam. Tapodivyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyeti asmat Brahma Sokhyam tu anantam. That is spiritual bliss. You can see that. So this bliss is here. And sleeping under the blanket and continuing our sleep between 3:30 4:30, that is here. So some people are stuck in this. This is tamaguni happiness. This is sattoguni happiness. Correct, no? So what does it take to go from tamaguni happiness to sattoguni happiness? What all we have to do? Who can say? Because this is binding. This happiness is binding. This is liberating. You agree? No. So this sattoguni happiness is enlightening and liberating. Where tamaguni happiness is binding and increasing our illusion and ignorance. And both give happiness. But this happiness appears to be happiness in the beginning, but eventually it leads to trouble. Whereas this happiness is, initially it takes some amount of energy to, get out of the shell of coziness. But then once you come out, the tapasya you are ready to do, then you get happiness which keeps on gradually expanding more and more. Correct, no? So what does it take to go from here to here? Who can say? Give the mic to him.
Desire.
Very good. Desire. Very nice. Thank you. Anybody else? Let's give it.
We need to endeavor for it.
Endeavor. Yeah. First you should desire, and to fulfill that desire you have to make an endeavor, he's saying. Okay. What else? Please give it.
Consistency.
Actually, you may get up one day, but then next 3 months you may not get up. That is useless, But we should try to make it day after day after day after day. If you do it for more than 50 days, the scientists say that it becomes your habit. So consistency is a very good word. Yeah. What else?
Knowledge aspect.
Knowledge also. When you study Bhagavad Gita and all, you understand, hey, I am not the body, I am the soul, and I have to go back to Godhead. This cozy tamoguni happiness will not last for a long time, and tamoguna is the lowest, and above that rajaguna and sattaguna, I will, this is like a buffalo's happiness. Buffalo in the ditch, buffalo in the pond or a pig in the ditch is also happy, but their happiness is tamoguni happiness. One day I was surprised, one buffalo in our village, he's in the pond. We were all children playing outside and parents told us, come inside. So we saw the buffalo was in the pond and rain is also coming and he is just in the pond. Just, it's not coming out. It's all right for him. He doesn't mind it. You can see that. Similarly, tamoguna is such a thing that you, even if there is suffering also, you don't mind it because you tolerate and go on enjoying the so-called happiness in that. How crazy happiness it is. So, what else it takes? Yes, give the mic to him.
Guruji, association of sincere devotees.
That is the point, I would say, amongst all the different points that you all spoke. In fact, not only association, I'm looking for one more thing. Let us see, anybody else can say that. Anybody else? He's saying determination, he says, okay? And that was the point you had, okay?
Practice with determination.
Spiritual practice with determination, okay? Anybody else? Yeah, practice. Practice makes a man perfect. Yeah, practice. Yeah, give him.
Developing love and faith.
Developing?
Love and faith.
In Krishna? But that love and faith, how does it develop? It's not very easy.
By hearing.
By hearing about Krishna, by studying the Shastra. Yeah.
We can express this to our superiors and take help from them.
Taking guidance from superiors. All that is correct. But one thing I will tell you, that the most important factor for you to go from here to Tamoguna to Sattva is inspiration. And that inspiration comes from attraction for someone who already has become very advanced in spiritual life. So when there is a strong attraction for somebody who has attained that goal, just like, for example, one boy was telling me that he wanted to be an entrepreneur in life. I asked, what's your inspiration? It's Vivek Bindra, he was telling. Vivek Bindra just talks about how, you can make a startup, correct, no? How do you do that and everything? He speaks in a very magnetic way and a lot of people are attracted to him, correct, no? They start business and everything. So you have a role model to which you are attracted to. If you don't have a role model, you are never going to go up. So all of us have to find out. You have to fix in your life. May not be one role model. There may be many role models. You are very charmed by. I won't say you just see them as a role model. Okay, I want to be. You should be madly attracted to those role models. So, and I won't say you should be madly attracted. It should be a spontaneous attraction to those role models. In material life, do you agree that people have spontaneous attraction to some successes or not? Correct, no? Like you say that this boy in my college studies well, he cracks the exam well. I also want to be like him. You go to him, meet him and ask him the secrets and you take his notes. You will do it or not? Correct, no? In the same manner, in spiritual life also, we need to cultivate the greed. It's called laulyam. We need to cultivate the greed by looking at certain role models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. These are people who are actually, you consider them perfect. And from them, you become greedy and go and find out their formula, how they elevated themselves from the Tamaguna to Sattva and Sattva and beyond. How they are. So our heart should be charmed, I would say. So when that charm comes in our heart, that gives you momentum. That gives you the motivation. That gives you energy to do, like who said endeavor? One of you said that endeavor. He said that. Who said desire? He said that, yeah. So the desire to advance in your life comes by associating with someone who charms your heart and you want what they have. And this is precisely what happened with Prabhupada going to America. When Prabhupada saw his guru, he was charmed by his guru. And the Guru's order, the Krishna consciousness is an emergency, Guru said. So when he went to America, that's what he spoke. Krishna consciousness is the emergency. And many of the hippies, boys and girls, were charmed by Prabhupada's character, his personality, his devotion. So at that time, they developed a desire that we want what he has. He has that joy of Krishna consciousness. Yamuna Mataji's book you read, you will see that. Shyam Sundar Prabhu's book you read, that Chasing the Rhino. Mukunda Maharaja's book you read. These are all people who have written books from their hearts. You can see that. It's one of Bhakti Swami has written a book, Ocean, what is that? Kripa Sindhu, Mere Mercy, and Ocean of Mercy, and there are 5-6 volumes on Transcendental Diary, and of course Prabhupada Lilamrita. You can see these things. These people are charmed. So what is a charm like? Like if a boy and girl are attracted, even in this world it is seen. You cannot put them any kind of formula or, there is no parameter or anything involved in that. It's a spontaneous attraction. That a girl feels for a boy, girl feels for a girl. You will see that. And it is not guided by anybody. Do the parents teach the girl how to love a boy? Or boy is taught by his parents? It just comes spontaneously. So, in the same manner, what is this love we are talking about? This is spiritual love. You are not attracted by his external looks, or you are not attracted by his external activity. You are attracted by his love for Krishna. So, when that kind of charm comes, then that charm also gives you a desire that I also want to love Krishna like that. And that desire gets the momentum and, as he said, endeavor. When you meet such devotees, take inspiration from them, and then you develop the desire. And then you want to advance further. So this is the way you will grow in your life, and then you get the momentum. Otherwise, other things are all secondary. Many of you said that. They are also true. I don't say they are not true. Those things are corollary result of this, what I am saying. And in spiritual life, why many boys came, they joined our center, practiced 16 rounds for a few years. Then they got jobs here and there, they went. And they got married, they had children. And they became mediocre. Mediocre devotees. What is the difference between a special devotee and a mediocre devotee, I'll tell you. A special devotee stands out in the crowd. For what? Not that he's a charismatic hero. A special devotee stands out for his dedication and commitment to Prabhupada's mission. Wherever he may be. He may be in Grihastha ashram. He may be in Brahmacharya ashram. So, you will see that his devotion service will not be ordinary devotion service. You will see that he is preaching vigorously, connecting. If he is a Grihastha, then he and his wife will make their home into a temple and call a lot of people, feed them prasad. Like you all know, Leelananda Prabhu, you all know? Correct? I would consider him a special devotee because he is giving shelter to 200 people. And he is a married man. I won't say only Brahmachari is special. Grihastha can be special also. But anybody who is dedicated, committed, is feeling Krishna consciousness in his heart, he is a special devotee. But there are many mediocre families where they also get initiated. They come to temple maybe once a week or once a month they come to temple. They will attend some festivals. And their life goes on. Their focus is not Krishna consciousness. Their focus is my wife, my children, my job, money making, building a house, paying back the loan. This is their focus. And they will also complete 16 rounds because they have taken initiation. That's a mediocre devotee. Special devotee means he feels in his heart, oh, such wonderful philosophy. I want to give these books to others. I want to put up the program like that. So you all want to be special Vaishnava or mediocre Vaishnava? You like special dosa or ordinary dosa? Paper dosa? See, there is a paper dosa which is hollow inside. There is another paper dosa which has got stuff inside. So which one you want? Special dosa. No, he is in kitchen, he knows. So all of you become special dosa devotees, which means like special devotees, which means dedicated and committed. In any ashram, Brahmacharya ashram or Grihastha ashram, any ashram. So I don't care which ashram one belongs to. Some people will say, Prabhuji, Radheshyam, I think you like brahmacharis more. No, I will not agree with that. There are also lazy brahmacharis also. Those who don't do much. I am fond of those who have feelings for Prabhupada, they are dedicated, committed, they do something for Prabhupada's mission. And they keep on increasing their contribution and don't become, stuck in their material life. That's what I would say. Any ashrama, like if some of you come to America, for example, we have chosen a dozen places in America where we have connected many people. So if you come, in case you are going to get married, you get married and then you expand preaching there, you will win the heart of so many GBCs, I can tell you. Many GBCs are crying that American preaching is, Westerners are not becoming serious devotees, they are worried. So you can alleviate their fears and worries by making devotees. So the idea, what I am saying is, whatever ashrama you be in, we should be very dedicated. Krishna consciousness should be the first primary goal for you. Other things will anyway happen. Now it's getting late. I have another program in the temple. I have to go. But I will come again leisurely another time. Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.